So we have work that we've always had as domestic labour, free domestic unpaid labour inside the home. And as you say, that includes not only practical things, but all the emotional caregiving as well. We then now have new jobs outside the home, so society now very much approves and actually mandates. So again, the studies are on that, surveys say that the British public feel that women should be contributing financially to the family. So that is a definite societal expectation. So we have work inside the home, work outside the home, and then my argument is there's a third job, which is the work of living in a female body. So I talk about things like the work of sexuality, the work of just the physical aspects of birthing, breastfeeding, dealing with menopause, fertility issues, contraception, abortion, all those different kind of bodily functions that women cope with. And then I talk about beauty standards as well. And do you go into any of that in terms of kind of expectations around the beauty industry? Do you talk about anything like that?
Yeah, I
in your
talk
book?
about body image and a lot about the societal expectations with social media nowadays and how much, women are, vilified for not being the right shape or the right size, as deemed by society. We literally have to fit into society, in our bodies, whatever that look like. And I think it's really quite disturbing when you see how much online bullying there is now from a very early age in terms of particularly for girls in terms of how they look. And that really disturbs me a lot, and I'm a bit of a dinosaur with my kids with social media, because I really feel like they're subjected to such a lot of um, judgment from a very young age, at a stage when their brain is so impressionable and they're going through some massive changes. We talk about adolescence as a time of physical bodily change. We don't talk as much about how much it affects people's brains and how much the brain changes in that time. And that's why it's such a struggle. And I think some of those things then get hardwired into their psyche, that actually, to be accepted, I've got to have lipstick on, or I've got to have my hair done, or whatever it is. And I think that's so dangerous. There's been some very high profile cases of women sports women being called ugly, being called not a looker, by journalists. I mean, it's appalling. It's appalling. Here we are talking about somebody who is the top, literally the top of their game, and they're being judged for how they look. How did we land? How did we land here? Seriously, it is disgusting. And I want my children to have the courage to call that out. I want their generation to say no, enough. It's terrible.